let's go ahead and get in the bucket system for the match play. So it's a little bit different this week when it comes to the buckets for the match play. Last year doesn't actually follow this. I don't know why I didn't update this. So the last year buckets, I have a 1 to 4 range. So finishing first to fourth, you know, obviously getting to the finals and then the third place. You know, you get to the semifinals and then determine who goes to the championship game and who goes to the third place game. So that's one bucket. The next bucket are the quarterfinal losers. And then it's the round of 16 losers. And then it's the guys who have enough points in their groups to consider 16th to 32nd, but didn't make it out of group play. And then it was anyone after. And then, of course, did not play. Then I have last week buckets, which are the same. Course history buckets are different. So this is 1 to 5, 5 to 10, 10 to 15, 15 to 20, 25 plus. So that would be your course history buckets. Recent form buckets are the same as usual. Salary buckets are the same, and strokes gained buckets are the same. Now, if you're unfamiliar with the bucket system, again, I have a video link in the description below. Go check it out. You only have to watch the first 5 minutes, so it won't take you that long. But basically, I am going to be using the same projections. I did this last year. It was successful at the match play. Projections take into account the success rate, how many golfers are in that bucket this year versus the average. And it takes all that into account and it creates the projections. What I consider the projections that I think will be inside the top 10 for each of these buckets. So let's go ahead and just cruise through this. You could skip this, grab the optimizer. It's already going to be built into that. And you won't even have to worry about how many golfers you want from each bucket. So that is up to you guys. And of course, I'll be using the optimizer in the strategy video Tuesday night. So when it comes to last year buckets, basically everything is 0 to 2 until you get to golfers who didn't make it out of the group, as well as golfers who didn't play the year before. So having played the year before and doing well, not really an indicator of success. Of course, when you look at the numbers of golfers in those buckets versus what you see on average, it's not very good. I mean, it becomes like a numbers game. So just keep that in mind. You can see the optimal lineup numbers here. You've never seen more than one golfer who finished inside the top 4 from the year before, so that's going to help you out. Same applies for golfers who lost in the quarterfinals. So there's some powerful information you can get from looking at last year finishes. And of course, this goes all the way back to 2013 or 2014. Using 2013 data for the 2014 last year bucket. That's how it works. So use this to your advantage. I'm not going to go through each of these buckets. I think you can do that on the cheat sheet. I'm just kind of giving you the rundown, and I don't want this video to be too long. Again, it's based off a strategy of the brackets. This is where you want to go to. You want to follow the strategy that I included in the tournament and golf course information portion of the preview video or the one-off video that you can find on YouTube. Follow that. When it comes to these buckets, it's just kind of like you know, trying to make sure you don't play too many golfers from one of these buckets. Now, again, I always have a 2-point buffer, but when you come down to a bucket like the last year 2s, there are only 2 golfers in that bucket. 0 to 2 is a pretty liberal, pretty, I don't know. I don't feel super comfortable saying, oh yeah, you could play 2 golfers from this bucket. Actually, let's take a look. Who are those guys? Maybe that'll help us determine. Will Zalatoris and Seamus Power. You could certainly make lineups with them, but I think the numbers speak for themselves. You probably don't want to. Probably just want 1. And you can certainly, when you get the optimizer, you can make those changes however you like. So again, I have the match play optimizer up. Last year 2s, I have 0 to 2. You can just change that to 1 if you want. Easy as that. You can see that says 1. I'll keep it to 2, so when I send it to you, it'll be sent to you unchanged, but you can change that if you want. I think that's probably a smart idea. So again, these are the projections. I'm not going to go over every golfer. We'll talk about some of this in the strategy video on Tuesday night. So if you want more in depth, check it out there. When it comes to the last week buckets, these are golfers who play at the Valspar, by the way. Now, if we went to 2022, I believe the tournament before, okay, that was the Valspar. 2021 was the Honda Classic. 2019 was Valspar. 2018 was the API. 2017 was the API. 2016 was the API. So different tournaments, but I do think coming into match play, it all is the same, in my opinion. I don't think it really matters which tournament it was. Okay, so I'll take that back a little bit. It does based off of the type of golfer coming from that tournament. So people playing the API coming to the match play, probably better golfers than those from the Honda Classic coming into the match play. Just because the Honda Classic isn't a tournament most golfers are trying to go to, but the API is, the Arnold Palmer Invitational is. So I just take it all into account, use the success rates to try to determine, you know, going with the amount of golfers in each of those groups, and then create my projections. So again, 0 to 2 from the golfers who topped 20 last week. It includes 8 golfers. 0 to 2. Keep that in mind. Then it's 0 to 2 for the rest of these, but you could get away with 0 to 1, honestly. So anyone who played last week who did not finish inside the top 20, you just select one golfer from each of these groups. And I do 20 place increments. So last week 2 is 20 to 40, last week 3 is 40 to 60, last week 4 is 60 to 80, last week 5 is missed cut. And we didn't have any withdrawals, but they would have been here too. They're all 0 to 2. But they're all limited amount of numbers. You want somewhere between 3 to 6 golfers who did not play last week in your lineup. So keep that in mind. Going to course histories or course history buckets. There are 3 golfers in this first bucket that ranges 1st to 5th place average finishing position at this event. I believe that includes Scottie Scheffler, if I recall. Maybe, maybe not. Yes, it does. And then Seamus Power once again. So if you do like Scottie, I think you probably just don't play Seamus. But on the flip side, if you like Seamus, don't play Scottie. And of course, we already saw Seamus in another bucket, and what was it, Will Zalatoris. So you could go Scottie Scheffler and Will Zalatoris, and that really means you don't play Seamus Power. So keep all of that in mind. I think that's a smart way to go about it. 0 golfers in that bucket 2, 4 golfers in bucket 3, 11 golfers in bucket 4. This is actually a 1 to 3. Projecting 1 to 3 golfers from that bucket. 0 to 2. Remember, if this isn't over 2, this rounds up to 2. And we want a 2-point buffer, so automatically we try to reduce the minimum down to 0 at least. And if there's a 2-point gap, then perfect. So that's how this would work. Although it says you want at least 1, 0 to 2 is probably the smart way to do it. So that kind of takes care of the course history buckets. Those that kind of on average don't play well, it's kind of the bucket you want to choose from. A lot of golfers come from this bucket, believe it or not, and finish inside the optimal lineup as well as the top 10. I didn't even should say the optimal lineup. We have that information right here. 0 to 2 is the max. So not always, but inside the top 10, which means getting past the round of 16. Actually, it means losing in the round of 16, so never mind. Yeah. Let's double check. Quarterfinals is what? 8 people? Yep. Okay. So technically this is 9th place getting to the round of 16. Yeah, okay. I said it right. So keep that in mind. Again, the optimizer will just automatically have this included, but you can see kind of your minimums and your maximums of golfers you want to select from each bucket for the course histories, and you get to go from there. Next bucket, recent form bucket. Basically, there are no recent form 5 or 6s, so you're really just looking at recent form 1 through 4, and we got 0 to 2, 1 to 4. This is 2 to 4. So having good recent form is kind of where you want to stick to. And then 0 to 2 recent form 4 golfers. So the recent form bucket's kind of spread out, and you probably want to select golfers kind of equally from each of these buckets. Again, the optimizer will include that in its criteria, so you don't even have to think about it. So highly encourage you to check out the optimizer. Not going to spend too much time on salaries. We kind of went over it with the pass optimal lineup and GPP wing lineups, but looks like you want a 10K golfer, projecting 1 to 3 inside the top 10, which again, that is getting to the round of 16, which might we might want to look at like top 5s. Maybe that's what I need to do going forward, is just looking at top 5s. Top 5 frequencies, min max. I need to probably create projections for top 5s. Actually, yeah, that's what I need to do. This doesn't help you guys out. I think it's still comfortable playing a 10K golfer, and then at 0 to 2, 9K, 0 to 2, 8K. Playing a 7K golfer is pretty good. And then look at the 6K projections, 0 to 2 on each of them. And that just naturally, it's not like we have to force it up to 0 to 2. So I think having at least one 6K golfer in your lineup is going to matter, if not 2. So keep that in mind. And then the last bucket to talk about are stroke chain buckets. And there are no stroke chain 5 or 6 buckets, which is kind of, I mean, it's the top 64 in the world, so that makes sense. A lot of times we see like a Jordan Spieth somewhere down here, or even a Ricky Fowler. Ricky Fowler was in this bucket for the longest time. He's obviously not for this tournament. So it's very interesting. Very interesting. Either way, all of our golfers in stroke chain 1 through 4. And again, if you're not familiar with this, there is a video link in the description below that'll explain about it. But it's pretty even. 2 to 4 stroke chain 1 golfers that I think are going to be inside the top 10. 0 to 2, actually 0 to 3. I always look at this projection over here, and depending on what this is, will alter what this is. So honestly, I could make the argument that you want 1 to 3 golfers from the stroke chain 2 bucket, but I'll probably keep it 0 to 3. I think that's probably the safest route. And then stroke chain 3 bucket, we want 1 to 3 there. Stroke chain 4, we want 1 to 3 there as well. Now, of course, we want to look at all the golfers that are in, like, that are 9K and above, and make sure we do this the smart way. Because if we had like multiple 9K and above golfers, like the stroke chain 3 golfers here, it would be difficult to, like, because 2 of these guys could be inside, you know, the top 5. And that means no more than 2 could be inside the top 5 from this bucket. Hard to build lineups that way. So we have to be kind of, and that's actually a good reminder for myself, I probably need to update the optimizer to not be super strict, like never have 2 or more. I think I'm going to put all the minimums now down to 1. At least I'm going to drop all of them pretty far down. So 2 to, I think we can keep last week's 6s to 3. But yeah, I think it's smart to keep everything down to at least 1. And a lot of that has to do with, 1, the strategy in building lineups this week have everything to do with selecting golfers from each of these quadrants the correct way. And then 2, salaries get involved. And it might be way too difficult to pair golfers up based off the projections that I have for the buckets, based off their salaries and based off the strategy this week. So yeah, I'm gonna keep the minimum projections low, and if you're actually, honestly, if you want to, you can move all of these down to 0 when you get the optimizer, and that's probably the best way to go about it. So that will wrap up the bucket system for this video. Hey, we kept it under an hour. That's awesome. I am not going to waste any more time. It's late. I want to get this out as fast as possible and get to bed. So that being said, just some quick reminders. If you're not on PrizePicks yet, I'll give you $20 if you sign up using the promo code SweetSpot and put $20 in your account. That way you get to play it for free. PrizePicks will give you an additional 20. You'll have 40 in your account. It'll only cost you the sign up information. If you want a chance to win $50 at the end of the month or $5 next week, comment down below. Be subscribed to the channel, comment down below. Easy as that. Simple as that. And of course, hopefully you were following along with me using the cheat sheet, which there's a link in the description below as well. And then the optimizer is available to you. Contact me right there, SweetSpotDFS@gmail.com. Be subscribed to this channel and comment down below. Let me know you want the optimizer and I'll send it your way. Those are all the giveaway reminders. I'm going to bid you guys adieu. Thank you for watching. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff, and I'll see you in the next one. All right, bye.